What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12 Reunion Part 1. So before the show actually got rolling, before we got into the meat and potatoes of it all, Kyle had mentioned that she had gotten a breast reduction, which is fine. Okay, whatever. But I'm going to need some of these women, and I'm not specifically talking about Kyle, but when she had said that she had gotten her breast reduced, she had taken her implants out, it made me think of other housewives or other people on reality TV who are constantly going up and down in sizes. They're big, then they're small, then they're big again, then they're small again, and they can't make up their mind. And I don't remember exactly who it was, but it was somebody, and I think it was on one of these Real Housewives franchise. She had him big. Oh, I think it was Tamara Judd, or is it Judge? It was Tamra from the OC. She had him big, then she had him small, then she had him big again. And if we could just, just accept the body that the Lord gave us, maybe then, we wouldn't have to go through all of these drastic procedures just to be trendy or just to fit in or whatever. You're beautiful the way you are. If you want to go up a little bit, fine. If you want to go down a little bit, fine. But the part that confuses me is the constant up and down, up and down. Anyways, moving on. Like I said, I'm not specifically referring to Kyle, but when she said that she got her implants taken out, it made me think of another housewife who was constantly up and down in sizes. Moving on. Lisa Rinna. She started out real early with, woe is me, feel sorry for me. I'm the victim here. I've been through a very tragic loss, so don't be too hard on me, because she brought out the little bird, the little porcelain bird, which she says it's representative or symbolic of her mother. So she started early with the sympathy. The original Scream Queen herself, Jamie Lee Curtis, made an appearance. And I liked how Andy pranked the women. At first, he made it seem like she was coming out. And so they were all shocked. And then he was like, no, I'm just kidding. She's not. And then she appeared, and I absolutely love that. So Miss Jamie Lee Curtis, she came out and she talked about how the show impacted, how much it impacted her charity for the better. And I guess they got tons and tons of donations because of her appearing on the show. So that was really good to hear that something really positive came out of this trashy reality TV show. So it was really nice to see Jamie Lee Curtis. She had some pumpkins that were carved out in the faces of the women, and so she was going to give them each a pumpkin. And I just love Jamie Lee Curtis, and that was just really nice of her. So moving on. So Garcelle informs us that her 14-year-old son, I think it's Jax, one of her twins, he was attacked online with some very, very hateful, ugly, disgusting, racist comments. She says that this happened during his very first week of high school. So can you imagine this poor kid dealing with all the other stuff that he has to deal with being a teenager, being the son of well-known parents, an extremely famous mother, mother who's on a trashy reality TV show. So with all of that, now he has to deal with being attacked online. And Garcelle said that whoever these mysterious figures are also sent her Playboy pictures to her son. And that's probably every playmate's worst nightmare, or anybody who has, dibbled and dabbled in the adult industry. It's like, one day someone is going to send these images to your children, or your children are going to stumble across these images. And then how are you going to explain that, and how are you going to feel about that? So, and she said one of the comments that were left directed to Jax. I don't know exactly if it was just in a general forum like Twitter, or if it was specifically aimed to, I guess if they added him, he saw it. So someone also had said that if it wasn't for your white daddy, you would have a knee on your neck. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell is going on here? This is just a trashy, simplistic reality TV show. Why are we getting children involved, Erica Jane? And why are we being so hateful towards the children? You know, the children who rarely made an appearance. We did see Garcelle's children, like any of these housewives. We do see, you know, little glimpses of their children. They're not featured on the show. They're not any of the main characters on the show. Why would anybody want to attack an innocent 14-year-old who didn't ask for any of this? You know, he's just collateral damage. And anybody who would send something like that to a child, I mean, God have mercy on your soul. So Andy said that it must have been a bot that was behind all of these hateful messages and not like an actual human being. And Garcelle wholeheartedly believes that Rena and Erica had purchased this bot to send out these messages, and she currently has an investigation going on. And so I don't know a lot about technology, and especially, you know, bots and all this other stuff. I know the concept of bots, that these are just some type of like machines or whatever. They're not real humans that act or pose as real people. And people usually will use bots to gain subscribers or followers to their social media, but they're not actual people. So I guess there's a way to find out the human behind the bots. And I hope that they do find out who this person is. And I hope that when they do find out who it is, this person will be rightfully exposed. Moving on. They talk about Dorit's home invasion. I feel bad that I don't believe Dorit's story, but I think it's my right to not believe it if it's not adding up to me. I feel bad that I don't believe her story, because heaven forbid it actually did happen. And here I am making light of it. And I mean, I don't want to be like that, but I just can't help my innermost gut is telling me that there's something about this story that just doesn't ring true. I don't even know that the burglars left her cell phone by the front gate. I mean, I don't know how in the hell I missed that part, but that to me makes it even more fake. Whatever I knew before that made me not believe it, and now I'm going to add on the fact that they left her cell phone at the gate. Yeah, now I'm really calling BS on her story. So the rumor is, amongst others, is that her husband PK had orchestrated this whole entire home invasion for an insurance scam. You know, you claim that a whole bunch of stuff has been stolen. I guess if it was insured, the insurance company will cut you a check for all of your valuable items. Dorit says that the thieves have still not been caught. Andy, he kind of like was trying to swallow back or hold back a yawn while Dorit was talking, and it looked like Dorit was highly offended. I don't know if that's like a little skit that the two of them have going on, or Andy was actually falling asleep while she was talking and she actually really did get mad. Kyle said that the thieves that had stole from her, that broke into her home and stole her items, which I think was a whole bunch of very, very expensive bags. She said that they contacted her sister-in-law and they had sent pictures of the things that they stole and demanded money for those things, I guess, to return them back. And she said that she did send money and she got some of the things back, I think she said. That is crazy. And evidently this person or these people that had burglarized Kyle had already done time, I think. So there was no way for them to like be prosecuted all over again. I think they already had done their time. And so, she said that she did send them money and then got some of the items back. And that's absolutely bizarre. Now, for whatever reason, that's more believable to me than Dorit's story of her home being burglarized. Like, I can kind of see something like that happening, you know, with what Kyle said, but I just don't buy Dorit's story. Moving on to Crystal. So here we go, Crystal and her double talk, triple talk, quadruple talk. Nobody knows what's going on. Let me say this about Crystal before we get into it too deeply. The thing about Crystal that irritates me is that she will take certain issues that are going on right now, and she will use them as weapons to whoever is questioning her. For example, obviously there's this whole thing going on that women should not be silenced. You know, if anything has happened to you as a woman, you should be able to talk about it no matter what, and never feel ashamed of anything, whether you've been violated, whether you have some type of a eating disorder, however you feel, whatever you feel about whatever, women should be allowed to speak their mind and have a voice. Because, you know, for eons and eons and eons since the beginning of time, you know, we can't rock the boat. Women can't be too controversial. We can't upset people because that's not what we do. We're here to make everybody feel better. We're here to make everybody be comfortable. And so things that bother us or things that have happened to us or any experiences that we have had, we're not allowed to talk about it. You don't talk about those things. You have to be quiet. So she uses that to attack people because she knows that that's something that when you say that, when you tell someone, are you trying to silence me? The other person is going to be like, oh, no, 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 I'm not. Okay, I believe you. Whatever you're saying, I believe you. And she uses that when it came to this whole entire dark whatever dark thing that's said in that set, but we'll get to that later. First of all, I want to start off by saying that I do believe that Crystal and Garcelle are very marginalized in this group of women, extremely marginalized. We kind of see them as secondary characters, not really as part of the in crowd. The in crowd is your Kyle and your Erica and Rinna and to a certain extent you can even say Sutton, definitely Dorit. These are your in crowd, and then on the periphery you have Garcelle and you have Crystal. I've noticed that, and I'm wondering if it's because of the fact that they are, you know, women of color. I'm just speculating. I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm just speculating. I was trying to figure out how come it doesn't seem like if they're holding a diamond, if they're a diamond holder, why does it still feel like they're on the outskirts of the main group? Like the main group has yet to really allow them to come in and to be accepted. Sutton was accepted, even though Sutton was sort of ostracized a little bit. Sutton was more accepted in through Erica than Garcelle. You know what I mean? It was just strange to me. And Garcelle hasn't done anything to anyone. So they talk about Crystal's eating disorder. They talked about, you know, how tone deaf Erica was when she has suggested for Crystal to, you know, take a laxative and to not eat the chicken tender. Erica defended herself by saying, well, I didn't tell her to take a laxative. I told her that that's what I would do. Okay, so how does that make it any better what you said, Erica? This is a woman who's suffering from an eating disorder, and now you're sort of like trying to bond with her by saying, hey, I have the same issue. And you think that's cool. Well, it's not. You know, she needs help. So no, we don't do that. Like if someone says, you know what, when I get really stressed out, I take a hit of heroin, and you're like, oh yeah, I take a hit of crack when I get stressed out. No, that's not what we do. If you're like a really good friend and you see that she's suffering from something, you don't try to be like, hey, I do the same thing and it's okay, because it's not. And then the whole thing about the chicken tender, you know, when she told her don't eat the chicken tender at whatever event that was, because there's like 50 million events per season. Erica was like, yeah, okay, I said it, and I was wrong. You know, like the way she said it, it was very, you know, I really don't care. I said what I said, but if you were hurt by it, okay, I'm sorry. Can we move on? You know, it's very flippant. Dorit was shocked that her revealing what Crystal had told her in confidence about purging every day. Dorit was shocked that that was wrong for her to do, that, you know, that she had done anything wrong. And Crystal was like, I told you that in confidence and you shared it with the entire group. And it was like, y'all were gossiping about me. And Dorit was like, oh, what do you mean what I did was wrong? What do you mean? And Dorit thought, I guess because Crystal had shared her experience with her eating disorder, that it was okay just to say whatever regarding Crystal's eating disorder, whether it was told to her in confidence or not. And so on that part, I have to side with Crystal, because if it was told to her in confidence, if that specific thing and that specific context was told to her in confidence, she should have kept it in confidence. And it did come off as gossipy. It did come off like, ooh, let me tell y'all what Crystal told me. She is purging every single day. That's how it came off when she told the women. It wasn't like, you know what, I'm really struggling with some information that was given to me and I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to help her, but this is what was shared to me and I just need your advice in leading me in the right direction to help a friend. But instead, did y'all know what Crystal told me? And it was just, yeah, you were gossiping, girl. So then we go into the whole thing about when Crystal accused Sutton of saying something very dark, implying that she had said something racist. Crystal, of course, we're back to that again. We gotta beat that horse. That horse is dead. That horse has been dead. That horse is now decomposing, and we're still beating it. So we gotta go revisit the whole situation again. So whenever And Dorit had broken it down, and when she broke it down, this was like the most sense that Dorit had said. So after the whole thing about, Crystal denying, I didn't mean that. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean to say that she said something racist. It was just it was something very dark, and it was really disturbing to me. Well, what did she say? What did she say? What did she say, Crystal? Crystal still is like, well, it wasn't exactly what she said. It was the tone. Her tone was disturbing to me. So now she's backpedaling even more, okay? If she backpedaled any further, she'd end up in 1924. So now she's backpedaling even more, like, well, I didn't say that she said something. I just said that her tone was off. I didn't like her tone. Her tone was offensive to me. And so Sutton then says, and Andy was getting frustrated. Every single woman on that couch was getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated with Crystal because, like, Crystal, you so made it look like Sutton had said something very racist, and it was so, so, so bad that you couldn't even form your lips to repeat it. That's how bad it was. That's how you made it appear to the rest of the world. And she's like, no, 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 that's not what I meant. That's exactly what you meant. So then Sutton jumps in and says, hey, me and Crystal were cool. We understand what was said and what was discussed, and we've talked about it, and we've moved on, and we just need the respect of the group to also move on, to respect us enough to move on. And so then Rinna comes in and says, why is this okay? With her finger like going way back. Why is this okay? Why is this okay? Why is it okay for you to imply that your friend says something extremely racist, and then for her to just be like, oh, I've forgiven, I've forgotten, and let's just all move on? And so that's when Dorit stepped in, and she said, she was talking to Crystal. You were responding to something that Garcelle had said, because Garcelle had told Crystal, when Crystal told Sutton, oh, so you're that girl. You're that girl. So Garcelle has said to Crystal, you would have made that remark to Sutton no matter what she said, because Crystal, had taken what Sutton said as being a little bit racist or prejudiced. So Crystal then responds, oh, you're that girl. You're that girl who says those kind of things. And that's when Garcelle said, you would have said that to her, no matter, regardless of what she said. And that, in order to save face and to stand by what she said when she made that girl comment to Sutton, in order to save face, Crystal responds with, well, because she is racist, because this is what she said, something to me that was so, so, so dark. It was so, so, so disturbing. And I can just never repeat it. It was just so horrible. And that's where it all stems from. So when, Dorit, she broke it down and she made sense. And this is the only time that Dorit has made any sense to me. So, Crystal, you look foolish. You look like you're making up stories. And I don't understand how Sutton, I'm going to keep violence out of it. I don't understand how Sutton hasn't given her a really good, a good talking to, when this woman has implied that you were a racist and that you had said a very racist thing. And there's a stereotype that, Caucasians from the South tend to be prejudiced and to not like people of color. And she was perpetuating that stereotype of you, Sutton. But Sutton, you're just going to sit back and be like, oh, we've already talked about it and we're fine. And everybody else should just respect us and we're okay. And we need to just all move on. No, you need to address that, Sutton, and put her in her place. So it really aggravated me because all of a sudden, when Kyle was getting on Crystal, Crystal has this thing of like, well, are you trying to, that's my truth. That was just my truth. So you're saying that my truth doesn't matter, or my truth is not validated. And Kyle is like, but your truth is not true. Now you're trying to say that you didn't say that, but that's exactly how you meant it. And that's exactly how it came across. And, her whole vagueness, Crystal's vagueness of, that's my truth. That's my truth. That's my truth. That's my reality. But girl, your reality is not based in the actual reality of the world. Okay. It's like if somebody said, oh, the sky is polka dotted. And then they're questioned about that. What do you mean the sky is polka dotted? No, it's not. That's my truth. That's my truth. And then everybody else should just be like, okay, this guy's polka dotted because that's her truth, so let's just leave her alone. Oh, okay. So another truth that Crystal had, and she has so many lies and so many vagueness and so many inconsistencies, I can't even keep track. So I think Kyle was really referring to at the part when Crystal had said, she had talked about how they talked about her losing friends because she was on this show. Because I think during the season, someone had made a remark about how Crystal is she uses people, like when she gets into a friend group, she figures out who's the most popular, who's the most well to do, and she like attaches herself to them. And like everybody else kind of like deserts her, or she breaks up friendships, or she stops being friends with people because she's really wants to be friends with the most popular one, or something to that effect. I forgot how it went. So they talked about her losing friends. That's the bottom line. And so Rinna, and then Crystal says, well, Rinna had given me a really good piece of advice. I started losing friends from being on the show, and I was talking to Rinna about it, and Rinna told me, well, this is just the beginning, so get used to it. So then at some point, I don't know how it came about, but Kyle was questioning her about, losing friends because you were on the show. And then Crystal turned it around and said, no, I didn't lose friends because I was on the show. And Kyle was like, well, you just said that you lost friends for being on the show. Oh, Kyle had said to Crystal, well, the people that were no longer your friends, here we go. The people that were no longer your friends, Crystal, the people that you claim had deserted you because you were on this show, they also wanted to be on this show, but didn't make it. And so that's when Crystal said, oh, I didn't say I lost friends because I was on the show. That's exactly what she had just said. She says, I said that I lost friends when I accepted the offer to be on the show. And so then Kyle said, so you losing friends had nothing to do with you being on the show. So why would you lose your friends if it was way before you were even on the show? And so Crystal was just so twisted and turned around with her own lies. She looked absolutely ridiculous. I'm twisted and turned around also with Crystal's lies. So I think I need to leave that topic alone. I need to move on. The bottom line is Crystal has a way of lying, twisting the truth, being purposely vague, to the point where when she gets caught, all of a sudden we are denying her truth. That's another big, trendy word. My truth, my reality. So when she gets caught, all of a sudden she's going to attack you. Oh, you're trying to silence me? You're trying to say that's not my reality? You're trying to say that's not my truth? Because, as soon as you say that to a woman, when a woman says that to you, you have to back off and you have to let her have her truth, whatever the hell it is, even if it's in, fairy tale land. Diana makes her appearance. Diana was not on the set because she came down with C-19, I think, so she had to film remotely. She talks about having lawyers sending cease and desist letters because she was being accused. She had a book. I think the book is called Room 23. I have no idea what the book is actually about. I can only go by what she says and what other people have said about it. But she was being accused, this book was being accused of being like a catalog of call girls. And, very well-known, famous people, I guess. I don't know, something about the whole call girl thing. And she denies it. She's like, no, it's not about that. It's about women empowerment or whatever the hell. And so people who would come out and refer to her book as such, like it was something about call girls and whatever, she said that she had to send out cease and desist letters to stop all of that. She denies knowing Jeffrey Epstein. She says she's got nothing to do with him. She says when Jeffrey Epstein was at the height of his shenanigans, she was a refugee with no papers, no identity, no nothing. So there was no way that she was, cohorting with Jeffrey Epstein. Garcelle, throughout the whole entire Diana segment, Garcelle was visibly uncomfortable. Visibly uncomfortable. So then they asked Diana about a comment that she made regarding black content or black content creators or something like that. And she had made a statement online. See, this online stuff is going to get a lot of people in a lot of trouble. She had said something online about black content, and Crystal called her out on it, I guess, online as well. Like, what the hell do you mean by black content? What are you talking about? And because it came across like she was saying something about black people or content creators or black people who are, voicing their opinions online. And Diana responded with, well, to me, black content means people like dark content, like things that are said that are very, very mean. She says her excuse was, when I said black content, I was talking about, very negative content, very dark content that was being put out about us. That there are people, all they are purposely putting out information or lies about us that is not true, that is very, very negative and, very, very wrong. They're like trolling us. And that's what they're there to do. And these are black content creators, meaning creators of dark information. And Garcelle didn't buy it. Not at all. Garcelle did not buy it, not one bit. And so then they start talking about the victims, the widows and the orphans. Diana said that she has actually given money to the widows and orphans and victims of these accidents that Tom Girardi was representing, and then subsequently stealing money from them. So Diana says that people are going to constantly talk about, oh, the widows and the orphans, the widows and the orphans, and you feel so bad about the widows and the orphans because the Girardis have completely stolen from them. And then why don't you do something about it and give them money? If you're really worried about the widows and the orphans, give them some damn money and help them out. So Diana said that she has done that. She has done that. And I think Andy was like, doesn't that kind of seem like you're trolling Erica? Because, Erica's the one that's responsible, or her husband at least is the one that's responsible to compensate the widows and the orphans. And for you to give them money, it's kind of like you're saying, hey, I'm going to do what they can't do, what they refuse to do. And Erica was like, no, I don't see it that way at all. And Diana says, well, she's all wrapped up in her legal problems, so she can't do it right now. So like, as a friend, I'm doing her this favor by, giving money to help these people out, because we know deep down inside, Erica really, 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 truly cares about the widows and the orphans more than she does about the $75,000 earrings or $750,000 earrings. Okay, moving on from there. Garcelle believes that Diana is also behind the bots that were attacking her son online. She absolutely 1,000% believes that Diana was behind it. I guess including Rena and Erica. Diana denies it, of course. Garcelle says that she had also sent a threatening text to her. And so they talked about, what was that all about? Why is Diana sending you a threatening text? So messages had gone out, or postings had gone out. I really wasn't clear if it was like an online, I'm assuming it was an online posting. Someone had posted online, these horrible racial things about her son, Jax. And one of the comments was so ugly. It says something about, this is the comment about the knee on the neck, saying something about, thank God, if it wasn't for your white daddy, you would have a knee on your neck. Leave Diana alone. And I guess in response to that, Garcelle and her family, when they responded to that, I guess they reposted that to show the world, like, hey, look at what people are saying about my kid. And Diana, I guess, I probably got this wrong because it's sort of confusing. I guess Diana, when she saw that they had posted that on their social media or whatever to show how they're being attacked, Diana says, well, take my name out, pencil my name out. I don't even know what that means. Like, put a line through it where people could still see it, or like delete it completely. I didn't understand the whole penciling thing. And so Garcelle was like, my son is worried about his life. I'm worried about my son's life. I'm not worried about protecting your name and protecting you and your reputation. That was not the foremost thing on my mind. And so then Kyle jumps in, and then Kyle was like, well, what she's trying to say, what Diane, Kyle, shut up. We get it. We understand. Okay, maybe I don't, but I know Garcelle did. We understand what the hell's going on. Shut up. Don't try to defend this awful behavior. I'm not saying that Diana is responsible for these messages. I'm just saying that we get it. We understand. So Garcelle said that after they had addressed, these threatening messages, that's when they refused to take her name out when they reposted it. That's when Diana had said that if anything happens to her family, she was going to come after them. And Garcelle took that as, a threat of violence. And Diana was like, I didn't mean violence. I didn't mean physical. She says, I was talking about legal. When someone says, if you mess with my family, I'm going to come after you. No, I'm not thinking, oh my God, I'm going to start receiving paperwork in the mail. No one's thinking that. People are thinking, oh my God, this woman's trying to hurt me and my family. No one's thinking legality. They're thinking physical. I'm going to be in physical pain. You're going to cause me physical pain. So they go back and forth on that. Diana claims that she's also trying to figure out who's behind these bots that were threatening Jax. She's very concerned about Jax's safety. And Garcelle tells Diana, you're obsessed with me. That's all it is. You're obsessed with me. You harass me 2 to 3 times a day. And I want you to leave me the hell alone. Just leave me alone. I don't bother you. I don't hate you. I'm not coming after you for anything. Just leave me alone. And that's where that episode ended. This was a very good reunion, and it's only going to get better and better and better. One of the best reunions, I think, in a very long time, especially with the Beverly Hills franchise. I also wanted to say that these women, they're hard for me to rally for or support, or basically I'm trying to say like. And the only one that I can stomach is Garcelle. Everybody else is so problematic to me. So problematic to me. Kyle, Sutton, Rinna, Erica, Dorit. I can only tolerate Garcelle and Kathy. I can't tolerate nobody else. They're all problematic. They all have major issues. Erica with her, scheming, using her husband's money that her husband got from victims, to support her lavish lifestyle. Kyle is so sneaky. It's unbelievable how sneaky she is. I liked how she interrogated Crystal, though, when she got Crystal trapped up in that lie about, okay, so are you losing friends because you were on the show, because you accepted the offer for the show? Like, what are you talking about? That part, like, that was that one time that I really enjoyed Kyle, but that's just that one time. Dorit, I think she's lying. I think she's sort of useless on the show. She really doesn't really add anything. I think that the home invasion was, made up, concocted for insurance reasons, and also for her to be on the show, or to stay on the show, to have her contract renewed. Rinna is erratic. She's all over the place. There's people online are constantly talking about how Rinna is using her mother's death to garner sympathy, and I just find that hard to believe that someone would do that. I'm trying to give Rinna the benefit of the doubt. Rinna destroying people's relationships, like destroying the relationship between Kyle and what was that other sister's name? It started with the K. I have no idea. There's Kathy, there's Kyle, and there's I can't believe I forgot her name. It's not Christine. Whatever her name was, the other sister. Rinna messing up that relationship, or, taking that sister down, accusing that sister of, still being an addict and using drugs, and putting that out on Front Street. Yeah, that was low. I don't think that Rinna should have the ability to destroy Kyle's relationship with any of her sisters. I don't think that she should have that ability. If you and your sister are strong, then you and your sister are strong. If your relationship with your sisters are really, really strong, somebody like Renee can't tear it down. She can try, but she shouldn't be successful. So if there's any kind of conflict or whatever between Kyle and Kathy, that should be strictly, to Kyle and Kathy are to blame for that. You can't let a Rinna get in between your relationship with your sister if your relationship is strong to begin with. Now, if it's weak and there's no loyalty and there's no trust between the two sisters, then yes, a Rinna can come in and destroy that, because one of y'all will be using that Rinna for your own advantage. You'll be thanking that Rinna for stepping in and doing what you yourself couldn't do. That's why I have an issue with Sutton. I'm so mad at you, Sutton, for not putting Crystal in her damn place. I mean, Crystal made you look like a raging racist lunatic out there. And we already talked about it and we're fine. And if we're fine, y'all should be fine too. We're moving on. No, ma'am. Diana also. Diana is sometimes Diana's a little bit scary, because I know that Diana knows a lot of powerful people. I know she has access to a lot of things and a lot of people. Diana sometimes she kind of comes off as a little bit on the scary side. And then of course we have Crystal, who can't keep a lie together to save her damn life. And because her lies are so flimsy, it should have been very easy for Sutton to, bring her down to size. Which makes me think that Sutton, the reason why you're not going hard against Crystal is because Crystal might be right And maybe Crystal is doing you a favor by not saying exactly what you said. And I thought it was kind of funny that Crystal thought it was offensive. When Sutton told a story about the pool, and you know how Sutton has said, I saw my little girl, my little white daughter, in the pool having fun with a whole bunch of, a black child, an Asian child, a Hispanic child. They're all having fun in the pool, and that's how the world should be. I don't see how that's offensive. I don't think that that's why that's offensive. And Crystal, I got another bone to pick with you. Michael Jackson music is not problematic. Okay, it's not problematic. Yes, Michael Jackson ended up settling. There's a plethora of reasons of why he ended up settling. There's also on the other side of it, though, on the other side of it, a lot of information has come out about, the possibly the victims' parents has set these children up to try to put their children in compromising situations so that they can get money from Michael Jackson. So, of course, you don't know nothing about that. I don't know if you were born, how old you were around that time, if you're reading news articles around that time of what the hell was going on at that time. But yeah, no. So yeah, that's my review. It was a really good, entertaining reunion part one. I'm looking forward to part two. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it on your way out. Please don't forget to rate the video. And if you like this content, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.